Hi everyone, Wendy here at the Denver Museum of Miniatures, Dolls, and Toys, and today we're going to make a tiny little ski hat, like a little beanie, or a toque if you're Canadian, and I have my words right. You're going to need some scissors, you're going to need some embroidery floss, as many colors as you like. I used masking tape, but you could also just use paper and a little bit of something to stick it together in a loop. And let's do it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a base to build this all on. And I'm going to use masking tape because it's pretty easy to work with. I'm kind of folding this in thirds. It's probably going to be a little bit wider of a band than I would want, or maybe would want. I don't know. But I think it'll be something I can work with, which I think is going to be more key to success. So I'm going to make it about the width, like wrapping it around my thumb. I think that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to use another little piece of masking tape to secure it. And you know, this is really, you can change the size and change this as much as you want. I'm going to trim off this edge here, a little extra piece. So we have a nice little ring. And as you can see, I've covered up all the sticky stuff. So I think that'll be important. The next thing I'm going to do is I've chosen my colors. I've chosen gray, blue, and this pretty maroon. So we're going to do a bunch of pieces. I'm going to do them, I don't know, about 5 or 6 inches long, which is longer than I need, but I think fairly easy to work with. So you can do, there's probably lots of ways you can do this. You could cut them all and keep them all ordered, kind of like this. Or what I think is the faster way is actually going to be the way I do a lot of my kind of simple measuring. Let's find the end here. We'll go with this one because I know where the end is. We're going to just sort of use our hand and our fingers and wrap it a bunch of times. Like I said, I'm making these longer than I need so I can then trim them. And we're going to need enough to go all the way around the hat rim. So we're going to need quite a few. Remember, you can always cut more. And it's not a huge waist. See, look at that. They're a little bit shorter than I originally intended, but you know, that's still pretty workable. I'm going to need a bunch. So, and you can do patterns. So when we do this, you could do red, blue, gray, red, blue, gray, red, blue, gray, or you can just sort of do it haphazard. This is your project, so don't worry too much about making it look exactly like mine or like somebody else's, or you could do all the same color hat. You see how just wrapping it around. It's just sort of a quick way to get things about the same. And obviously we're not all going to have the same hand sizes. If you're worried, you could also use maybe even like a paperback book or something like that, or a checkbook. All right, so I've got my ring. Done with scissors for a minute. I've got my ring and I've got my string. And so the first one we're going to do is we want to fold this in half. If it's not exact, don't worry. We're going to put the loop side through our paper tape, and then we're going to put the end pieces through this loop, and then we'll pull it tight, squeeze it together. And then we're going to do the next one. Fold it in half, through loop, and we're going to want all of these to kind of be going the same way. I'll do a gray one, fold it in half, thread the middle through, and then put the ends through this loop. Oop, I just missed. Fold it in half. Okay. So you're going to want to figure out your pattern pretty soon here, because if you don't, then you're going to end up, or if you just want to have it go whichever way and not have a pattern, you'll want to figure that out pretty early on, because for a while, you know, you could still come back in and say, oh, I want, you know, because there's room for these to slide around. So you could still say for a little bit here, oh, I want red, red, blue, blue, gray, gray, or what have you. Don't worry too much about the messy ends. See how that's all coming together? Pretty good. Okay, so you can see I finally got all of my strings all the way around. I tried to get them pretty densely in here. Looks a little bit like a windsock. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to shove all of these through the middle of our hat. And this is going to give us that cool kind of like band look. It's a little trickier. I think you could probably even use finer string if you have a lot of patience. All right. Get that all nice and pulled. The one thing I might say is make sure that you have really tightened all your knots. I forgot to double check. And these got a little slippery. So you can see now how it's kind of have that like thick band. So this is going to be a thicker banded hat. You know, pretty cute so far. Right, and then the next thing I'm going to do is you still don't have to worry that these aren't all the same lengths, although maybe figure out how short they all are or how long they all are. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to figure out how tall do you want your hat. And then I'm going to tie it off. So I'm just going to do a double knot. Yikes. All right. So the next thing we have to do is we're going to tie this all together. And I actually recommend cutting a longer piece of thread. This can be a little slippery and squirrely. And if you're using a longer piece, then you'll just be a little, like have a little more wiggle room. If you have someone helping you out, this could be a good time to get them to hold on to something. Let's see. Switch to here. So you can see a little better. And, you know, figure out just how big you want your hat. A little. And then tie it tight, tight, tight. And I'm going to tie it in a double knot. you could also do a bow. But this is a hockey hat, so hockey fan hat, so I don't think I need to tie it bow. And then you're going to sort of trim all of your leftover pieces. And, you know, remember you can always trim more, but you can't take off something you've already cut. So, you know, go slow. And here we go. That's our little hat. Super cute. So, you know, work with it, and, you know, you can kind of, it's just like a regular beanie. You know, you can kind of break it in and squish it around. Yeah. Here is our finished hat. We'll see you all at the fall show.